It's the Full Scoop Podcast.
Off to the full scoop.
Today we're talking about ownership in space. So this is something that I think we've kind of touched on before. We've obviously talked about the moon. We've talked about Elon being a crazy billionaire, tons of money. We know if there's ever going to be any colonization.
You mean genius?
Okay,
No,
I mean,
You're going to trigger some people with that.
tomato, potato.
Look, Winston's already getting triggered. Look at him over there.
No, his panic is kicking in there. That's the after effect.
He's coming to colonize.
Golden eyes. What?
Oh no. So yeah, ownership in space, right? That's the topic. And basically, how do you deal with that? With someone landing on the moon, can they just claim it and say that it's theirs? And basically, I did a little bit of research and found that there's conflicting agreements or treaties out there. And there was a moon treaty of 1979, which says that no one can own any part of outer space ever.
God's space.
It's God's space.
Yeah, it's just, it belongs to everybody,
Like, everybody.
well,
That's
some
what we
people
said
say.
about Louisiana before we bought it.
So
Or Texas before we stole it.
we don't talk about
We're
that.
going to get heat for that
No,
one.
They stole it. We were here already.
So I see. Oh man. Okay, so the Moon Treaty. It turns out that not a lot of countries have signed it. Only 11 have so far, and that means that it's most countries around the world don't recognize it. And then there's the 1967 outer space.
How many of those countries have a space program?
Have rockets.
that?
I think there's only like 3, maybe 4 that matter.
Yeah. Well,
And the ones that do, I
that is a
guarantee
good
they're going to
point.
get there. And then they're going to be like, well, y'all didn't want to sign it, so this is our moon now. What?
Right,
You were
but
right.
then
You
again,
should.
the Native Americans said the same thing, and we still took their shit.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So
We're
So
not
for
even
this
accounting for aliens here. You know that, right? Like, what if we go plant our, like,
if we
say,
go
like,
and
this
then-
is ours? They're like, no, sir. This is
Well,
ours.
If
isn't
they
that
have
what
a-
Avatar is based on?
We'll
Yeah.
take it anyways.
Well, they didn't.
That's
They
the-
didn't have a flag, as Eddie Izzard is fond of saying. You plant the flag, and that's what gives you ownership of a new land.
Or do you
Is
think that's
it-
why we planted the flag in the 60s? Like, to see if we would trigger any aliens? Be like, okay.
This is just a test. We're just dipping our toe into the outer space pool.
For the last
Right.
40 years, nobody has said anything. So I guess we're just going to slowly
I guess
creep
we're
in and
good.
just go
I guess this
moving.
is ours now.
You know?
And then slowly expand to the next.
It's
yeah.
like when your dog jumps on your couch without your permission, and he's kind of like,
Oh, hell
Hey,
no.
He puts
All right.
his first paw up there, just like, you know what, Gene? We can
I
move
thought you
in,
were gonna
right?
say it's like when he pees on the couch.
Oh.
No.
No, that's
now that's
they
his
always
couch.
know that's wrong. But it's like, yeah,
Oh, he wouldn't dare pee on my couch.
that you know of.
touch it next time
'Cause
you
you
get
already
home, see
peed
if
on
it's
it.
warm.
No, because I beat the shit out of him.
I peed on him.
You're definitely
Or
gonna,
mine.
you're
Get that
definitely
into
gonna
your
trigger.
head.
You're definitely gonna trigger PETA here, buddy.
You belong to me as a property.
It's a property.
You have no.
So-
We actually just had a conversation about that. We were talking about
Animal abuse?
No, no.
What?
Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay.
And it came up how everything's fucking. I believe that everything's so cliche now and watered down.
You're
But
so
the whole
watered down.
meaning. The whole meaning behind it has gone to shit. How you have to give every single person a Valentine's Day card at school, and
Oh,
my
okay.
argument is that no, it should be reserved for a special person whom you really care about, because then that way it's like the same thing with giving everybody a trophy. Then nobody is special.
So what you're
Pisses me
saying
off.
is give the aliens Valentine's so they won't get mad at us
Right.
for taking their land.
Hold
so
on.
then they're like, so then they threw back. Like, well, then what can we do? And one of the actual suggestions was, and it was actually from my wife, was, oh, I could give you a star. I can buy a star and name it after you, and you can do all these things like with NASA, and you can purchase a plot of land on the moon, I believe, or Mars, and so then we dove into it a little more, and I'm like, wow, how relevant that is to our full scoop. And so from what I gathered, at least, without the treaties and all that bullshit.
Hey, these are recognized by at least 11 countries.
Right. Yet I'm pretty sure there's a disclaimer at the end of them that it doesn't matter if you did purchase it. If we ever do get there, the government's not just going to give it to you, bro. That's not going to happen. Yeah. Sorry. I believe this shit was made before we ever thought that we were actually going to get there.
Right.
What if,
So,
what if we
it's
just
like,
end up triggering like some aliens be like, what do you talk about ownership in the moon? We own Earth too.
you belong to us.
You belong to
You live
Planet
there.
Earth belongs
We're in
to
their
us.
fishbowl.
Yeah.
We're in their fishbowl. We had no idea.
You're spilling out. Damn it. It's time to put you back in. No.
We belong to them as a property.
Yeah.
Not even, dude. The whole solar system's a fishbowl. It's like we were going from one pebble to the next, and they're like, "That's cute."
Look, he moved to a new rock.
No.
Oh,
He finally reached it.
Yeah. But I don't think you're going to get that plot
So-
of land.
so
Eventually
the-
the government's going to have to come in and it's all going to have to be rewritten. I don't give a fuck what treaties they have. That shit's going to go out
Right.
the window. As soon as somebody says, you know what, fuck you, and they put a base on the fucking moon, they're like, hey, that was my spot. And
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think so, buddy. You're
So
going to start drawing lines in the I was going to say sand, but in the moon dust.
in the moon
Start
dust, yeah.
drawing lines in
So
the moon dust.
there's a video to go along with this by Vsauce on YouTube that we'll share with everybody, and he basically dives into these treaties and the whole, and basically goes into what you're talking about right now, which is that ownership does not count anywhere unless you have the ability to enforce it, and so. And so
No
that's
army, no land.
Exactly. They're
Suck
saying
a
like
dick.
when we
That's exactly what was in my head, only simplified.
when we got
I'm
to
sure it was
the
simplified in there too.
North American continent, this land belonged to other people, and
Right.
basically just
Their bows and arrows were not enough for our smallpox.
that's in the video too. It's he references a book called Guns, Germs, and what was the other thing? Flags, Guns, and Germs, or something like that. But anyways, that was the idea, right? That if you don't have an ability to enforce it, then that ownership in space won't matter. That ownership anywhere doesn't matter. The only reason ownership is recognized here is because you have a more powerful authority saying that it recognizes it, right? If you own your home, there's a county saying that it's recognized, and the only reason people don't just like ignore that is because the county is backed up by a state, and the state is backed up by a country, and so on, right? So the authority that it has the ability to enforce ownership is what gives that ownership recognition. And when we get to space, these treaties at first will probably be the guiding factor, but they specifically say that no state or no government has the right to claim ownership to space bodies, and that means that corporations and individuals could, but those corporations and individuals will need something to protect that ownership or that property in space if it ever gets to that point.
Space Force.
Space Force.
Dear God, no.
We got it covered.
Corporations
So
and capitalism have
technically-
caused enough problems on Earth. We don't need to take it up to Mars or Jupiter.
Oh, it's happening. It's going
Yeah,
down.
no, it's the
It's
fuck
going
they're
down
gonna take
for
it.
real.
Yeah. So technically, we own space right now because we have Space Force.
I mean, we have
that we're aware of being the largest army. Again, there's still aliens out there.
Wait, but we don't have any. Our space force isn't really doing anything. We don't have any X-wings up there.
That we know of.
It's
That's
really
what Area 51 is for.
If it's
Do you
more of a
remember those secret
suggestion.
payloads?
Oh shit! Secret payloads.
X-wings.
Oh, we sent some X-wings.
Why
I'm
else
excited.
would we be dumping billions of dollars into Space Force?
Are we?
Not for that.
I thought it was of like money
To sign
laundering.
treaties? You stupid.
Cunts.
Jesus.
God, fuck.
Governments love to
I
spend.
thought that's where we're
No.
going.
No need to get hostile.
You actually hit on the conversation starter because I was going to say that because of the recent breakthroughs in the Falcon Heavy rockets, SpaceX is making travel and colonization in space more likely at like a super fast pace. So, basically, what do you guys think that in 2040, which is not as far as you think, what do you think 2040 might look like for ownership in space, corporations battling it out, armies?
Oh, yeah. It's gonna,
Fuck,
it's
man.
gonna,
The question is,
gonna
how
happen
long
already,
before
man.
we get our first Walmart in the moon?
Space Mart.
Space
Smart. Wait, who are they going to sell to?
Oh, there's colonies already.
Space tourists.
Yeah.
Space tourists.
Somebody forgot their toothpaste back on Earth. You know
Well,
what's
then
gonna?
it
You know how
probably will-
expensive?
It'll probably
you know how
be
expensive that's gonna
7-Eleven
be?
first.
Holy shit. With having the moon base around the
Exactly.
same time,
Right.
they're gonna, I feel like a stationary stockade type would benefit, because you can't keep everything on the base if it's
Okay.
orbiting,
Right.
right? So you go every chance you get, you go and drop off some shit there, and when you need it, you go and pick it up from the moon and come
Wait,
back
did
to
it-
the
isn't-
orbiter.
Isn't that what they're trying to do? My understanding is that SpaceX was trying to build something.
But it's
in
an orbiter.
orbit.
It's an orbiter orbiting moon base, but it's not on the moon.
Well, yeah, but you're saying you need like a relay point, is what you're saying, right? Like a
Right.
place where you can drop off stock and then go
To
back
have
to Earth and
things
then
when
refill
shit
it.
hits the fan, sometimes you need certain things fast. You
Right.
can't
gotta
wait
go
for
out to your
FedEx
shed.
to get from
Like
the
guns.
Earth to the moon,
Right.
and then FedEx loses it in the mail. That would suck.
Yeah,
So
you're
you're
talking
asking
about the people on the moon base, right?
Right.
Like if they need something real quick,
they're gonna need a Costco nearby.
or a Walmart.
Get your local guns all the way to uranium in the same place. Fuck it.
You're talking about a black market on the moon? Oh fuck!
It's only
on the dark
shit.
side. It's
Hey,
on the
hey.
dark side of the moon.
On the dark side.
It's only a black market because we make it a black market. We make things illegal.
Oh, nothing's illegal in space, is it?
It's just the market.
It's just a market.
Most things
Weed's
will probably
only-
be 3D printed on the moon from moon dust.
I mean,
we talked about
weed's
that
only
before.
illegal because we made it illegal.
The moon base is gonna be high as fuck.
Space dust, bro. It's gonna be a real thing.
Jesus Christ.
I still want to get to the other side of the galaxy. I think we need to.
Why?
The other
It would
side
take
of
a
the
lifetime.
galaxy?
Yes,
That's.
that's.
Do you know how
mean-
far that is?
Isn't it like
Doesn't.
4
Look.
isn't it like 4 billion light years wide?
We just need
I hear Buzz Lightyears
an
whenever
endless amount of fuel. Which actually, I heard we need 2 years worth of fuel to propel us to the speed of light. We might not hit the speed of light, but we get close. It'll take about 2 years because our bodies can only, like, technically survive like 1G, right? So as long as we have 1G,
Unless we're in cryo sleep, then we can survive anything. According
I don't
to
think
your
that's
body,
true.
your body's still,
I
your
don't
body's
think,
still
I think I
growing.
just made that up. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
we
to every
Of
movie.
course, yeah.
We're gonna go ahead and edit that out.
got caught.
No, okay,
Oh,
no,
no,
but
let
that's
him
fine.
get caught.
That's fine because that might actually be a thought or whatever that somebody thinks. Your body still undergoes all the G forces, and it's still, or the lack of. So that's why the astronauts come back off of the space stations, and their bones are structurally a little bit different. They're a little bit
Their
less
bone
dense.
density
less
is less.
dense.
Yeah.
They lose density.
So if we can keep the
They're
rocket
taller.
at 1G, we can effectively get to the speed of light in about 2 years.
Yeah.
We just don't have the fuel to burn that long. And then once we get there, it'll take, I think they said something like 12 ship years. 12 years would pass for you to get like across the galaxy, even though it'd be like a couple
way.
million billion to the outside world. So the Earth would be long gone. And you could technically get all the way across.
Are you sure
the
about
close-
that? Because
But the closer you get to the speed of light, the you're getting close to like time stopping. Technically we shouldn't be able to hit it, but nothing says we can't get close to it. And as long as we have enough fuel to push us,
Are you high?
we could get close to the speed of light. And like 12
Dude.
years would be an infinite amount of time on the outside world.
So imagine
Bro.
on your way back, there's no more Earth, and we've.
Oh
just-
yeah, no, there's no more fucking like Milky Way, or let's say there'll be no more solar system.
Bro, okay, obviously we've talked about time dilation, we've talked about space travel and moving at the speed of light, but you just blew my mind because I never pieced those together. And
Dude,
even though you're wrong,
Let me correct. It's close enough. It's close enough.
it's close enough.
It's still
it would
mind
take
blowing.
25
in your
years.
lifetime.
It's
It would
theoretical
take
science.
25 years for the traveler to get to the edge. Oh, this is actually it says if you're traveling at 0.99 the speed of light to the Andromeda galaxy, which is,
Right.
it's further, so you may have gotten your numbers from somewhere else. But
Oh
just
yeah.
off
No,
the
I
grid.
got to the edge of our galaxy.
Right.
You're going to another galaxy.
Yeah. Well,
That's
apparently
like 2 galaxies away.
Is it?
it's like 2 blocks. I don't
The
know.
the
how
numbers
distance-
add up.
I don't know if that's how distance works in space.
No, but how many years did you say?
50. Oh wait, 25. 25.
25. I had 12.
Yep.
And a half.
That's not
That's
bad.
approximately 2 times.
Right. So it would be 25 years each way to get to Andromeda Galaxy and back, but over 5 million years would pass on
Right.
Earth.
Those are ship years. So you'd be
Right.
50 years old if you were a baby, but the Earth would be, what, 5 million?
Yeah. So
That
why would
fucking
I,
blows
why
my
would
mind.
we want
Around.
to do that?
We might
Why would
still
we
be
I
do
around.
want that.
I mean, that's the premise for like Alien and Lily Cat. That there was that time dilation when Ripley gets back in Aliens 2, and her daughter's already died because she was gone far longer.
Is that what happens? That
is
also
exactly
happens in
what happens.
Interstellar with the time dilation.
That's what happens in Interstellar, also. Yeah.
What
Good movie, by the way.
about 2001:
we-
A Space Odyssey?
What about it?
Is that also what's? Because I remember that movie was so long and trippy that by the time I got out, it was the next day. So
Well, it's
I
it's
feel like
only
there
a
was some
trip
time
to-
dilation there.
What the fuck? Just by watching it?
Just watching it. Yeah.
Did I just
You've lost 2
miss-
years of your life.
Oh,
I
God,
would
you had a beard?
I would say no. They only made it to Jupiter.
Okay.
Damn.
Well, you want to go plant a flag at the edge of the galaxy is what you're saying, Johnny,
Right.
and that would just claim the
Well-
whole galaxy.
That flag would probably decompose by the time
See,
you
but
get there.
that's what Stephen fucking Hawking was talking about, where
Uh-huh.
that if aliens could travel across the galaxy and they could reach speeds of light, like we would have seen them by now, because of how old the universe is. So he has no hope that there is
But-
no one out there.
What makes you think that we haven't seen it already? Look at all the hieroglyphics, all the documentation's been done in the past. That's half-assed.
I am
Whatever,
a
just
little
not-
biased on that. I kind of feel like you guys are stealing the thunder away from what we are
Thank
able to
you.
achieve.
Yes. Yes, I feel the same way about the moon landing deniers. Like you're taking away from what people can do.
Yeah,
when they're motivated.
And I also believe in the cyclical phases of the Earth, where that it's not the first time we've had an ice age. What's to say that we were not alive and had technology more advanced than ours already, and then the Earth just wiped us the fuck out?
Yeah. I mean, we are on the verge of another mass extinction. We talked about this last episode.
Right.
And if that happens, give it 1,000 years, 3,000, 4,000, 10,000, and then all of a sudden, it's very likely that the landscape of the surface of the Earth has changed so much that you lose a lot of the history that was established before then.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And the next generation of maybe not
assholes.
Humans, maybe not Homo sapiens, but yeah, the next generation of assholes has to figure out a way to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
And I really don't feel that like ancient like hieroglyphs or things like that are proof that we've seen aliens. We've always been an imaginative species. We've always created fictional characters and we've always
not what we're doing now.
Exactly.
What if some fucking asshole 10,000 years from now finds a fucking future crimes video and says, "What the fuck were they doing back then?"
Or the Vaseline commercials.
Yeah.
Vaseline. Like, you talking about morning KY jelly, delicious, delicious KY
Kevin
jelly for
and
your
Jan's
breakfast?
They were consuming their KY jelly, bro.
That's why I believe every religion.
I was gonna say that, but that's not to say that there aren't aliens. I want to establish that.
That's the one I want to believe.
I think the Egyptians got it. Like they figured it out, right? But also aliens
so much
doing
time.
other stuff.
The problem with people that I think they're talking shit so much about the Egyptians is they cannot fathom the amount of fucking time that they lived there and ruled in that manner.
They think America is an old country.
Fuck, America's shit. It's a fucking.
It's a baby.
It's crap.
It's a baby.
They were comparing it to what fucking England, because of the guns and whatever. They're like, why do they have so many guns? And they're like, oh, well, we were that old. We had a shit ton of guns too. That slowly faded out, and we realized we didn't need them.
Kaboom!
But there was this. There's supposedly erosion on the fucking structures in Egypt that puts it far beyond any timeline that we thought that they were around.
Right, and we talked about that in a previous episode, so listeners should check that out.
I think what you were trying to say was like that article that came off like not too long ago where it says Cleopatra really lived closer in time to the first lunar landing.
Right, you heard that here on the Full Scoop.
Than the Great Pyramids. Oh, yeah. That's what you were trying to say, right?
Right. If you think that the Egyptians, right, they're ancient to us, that they lived so long ago, it's hard to fathom how long before they were gone than we are living. And then to fathom that when Cleopatra was alive, she was closer to being alive to us than she was when the fucking pyramids were built.
Right.
So, Jesus fucking Christ, like they were excavating Egypt while still living in Egypt as the same race of people.
In other words, Egypt was ancient
to ancient Egypt.
To the people we now consider ancient Egypt. When we think of ancient Egypt, they had their own
it's ancient Egypt squared, man. To the second exploded.
Ancient squared.
But anyways, how do we get to that? We were talking about aliens, weren't we? And aliens because we were in space. And space because we've put a flag up there and nobody's come to claim
everything. It's the United States of space.
Space.
Drop the national anthem right here.